Hey lovelies, welcome back to my channel, and if you are new, don't forget to like, subscribe and share. Now today's video is going to be a little bit different than what you're used to, but I hope you do enjoy this because it's a lot of work. It was a lot of work. Now guys, before I get into it, can you believe that these fish, these grunt fish that you're seeing here, are actually fish that I paid extra money for to scale and gut? And the fact that I have to be going over it not cute. The fact that I have to be scaling and cutting after I pay my nice extra money, this not cute. But guys, as you can see down in the title below what this video is all about, without further ado, let's get straight into the video.
I had a happy life as a little girl, I think I could say. But I was raised by my grandmother and my godmother. So I had an old soul. So I was raised by two older women, and we were very religious. My grandmother was a pastor, and my godmother, she was like the mother of the church. But we had church every day because the church started in the basement of the house. So I guess I could say I started out as a Christian girl. We were very, very strict, very religious. Wasn't able to wear pants and jewelry, makeup, or none of that. And of course, being a girl, as you're growing up, you see these things and you want to do it, but I wasn't allowed to. And in growing up, I did come across some things in my life that I can remember at the age of 5, being touched by several family members when I would go to sleep at night. And being in church growing up, I was always taught that God loves and God's this and God's that. But what I didn't understand was we would go to church, we would have a great time, and then we would come home from church, and then there was another atmosphere. And it was me being touched as a child by 3 different people, sometimes in one night. I never knew how to tell anyone because it was more than one person. So I just kept thinking that it was my fault. It was something that I had did wrong. And if I tell, then I'm going to be in trouble. So I never told. I just, like I said, kept thinking that it was my fault. I began to get older, be around more men, and they as well touched me. It just seems like everywhere I went, everything I did, I felt that I was this bad person. I felt that I was no good for anyone. And I'm young. I wasn't even a teenager. I just wanted to be by myself. I didn't want to be around people because I just knew that if a guy sees me, he's going to touch me. I know that there were times when I would be crying and saying to God, why do you hate me? Why do I have to go through this? Why didn't I know my dad? Why is my mom not raising me? Why is it somebody else? There was a lot of whys and questions. As I got older, once I got about 12, my life began to kind of spiral down because of the fact that now I have to go live with my mom. And to go live with my mom, I'm going into a whole new atmosphere. And mind you, I didn't get no notice of going to live with my mom. It was like I came home from school one day and it was like, you're going to be with your mom. Now I'm living with my mom, and I was introduced to marijuana. And the first time I was introduced to it was by my mom's friend, one of my mom's friends. He got me and my little sister high. And from that day, my life spiraled down. It did. It spiraled completely down from that first hit of marijuana. I got addicted. I wanted it every day. I liked the way it made me feel. It was soothing for my mind because I didn't have to think about those things that happened to me. I could just do whatever, you smoke a joint, I feel a whole nother person. Actually, I had a whole nother personality. I was a whole nother person. And people think that, oh, I smoke a joint, be okay. No, it's not okay. If I could do it all over again, I promise you, I would have never stuck not one negative thing in my body. Nothing. Because it never goes away. You have to constantly stay in prayer. You have to constantly tell yourself no. You have to constantly stay away from certain things, because if not, it rises up in your spirit and it'll make you want to go do it. And sometimes it comes so hard and so hard and so hard that you just go do it. Now, like I said, I'm in my teens. Marijuana was everywhere. People were smoking it. It was just something to do. And I got into it, and I was smoking and getting high and doing things and not thinking that it was going to do anything to me. Then, before you know it, I'm selling marijuana. Before you know it again, I get kicked out of school. And when I say kicked out, I was kicked out of all DC public schools for selling marijuana and fighting. Now my life is like, what are you going to do now? Because you can't go home. Your mama going to throw you out. You just got kicked out of school. What are you going to do? There was nothing else to do but to live the life that you live when you get kicked out of school. And that is do whatever it is I felt like I wanted to do. And as a teenager, I was into a lot. I started doing LSD, PCP, acid, blotters, rush, mushrooms, black beauties, orange sunshines, you name it, I did it. And it normally can start off with a pill. Just a pill. Here, take this. It make you feel good. And you take it. And you feel good. And then before you know it, you're taking another one. And another one. So doing in all this, I got to drinking, smoking, just doing whatever. And then I decided that I wasn't going to serve God anymore. Because being in this life that I was doing, nobody was taking advantage of me. Nobody was raping me. Nobody was making me feel bad. Nobody wasn't taking stuff from me. So I decided that I'm going to live my life. I got pregnant. And when I got pregnant, I decided to go back to school because I didn't want my child to say to me, you didn't finish high school, so why should I have to finish high school like this? So I went back to school and I just made it in. I graduated and I got a high school diploma and I had my daughter. And I thought everything was going good. Got a government job, got married. I just knew I was doing great. And there were times being pregnant that I was going to see Sister Ruth because I was trying to get my boyfriend to fall in love with me. I wanted him to want me. I wanted him to not leave me being pregnant. I just was told that I can make him fall in love with me doing witchcraft. I'm pregnant with another child. I had a son. So one day I come home from work. It was 12 midnight. I picked my son up. I left my daughter. We go home and I put my son in his bed to be with his father. I heard my son trying to get relaxed, I guess. He was like squinching around and just trying to get comfortable. And then I heard him go, and I said, well, he's finally asleep now. When I woke up that morning, I looked at the clock. It was 10:38. I put my feet on the floor and I began to say, no, no. I felt death as soon as I put my feet on the floor. I looked over at him in the bed and I started calling his name. And he didn't move around like he would do. And I knew that he was gone. When I went to pick him up, his head fell back in my arm. And his mouth was purple. I dropped him back in the bed and I started screaming. I didn't want to do anything because I was afraid that they would come and say I did something to him. At the time, my son-in-law, my brother-in-law was living with me. and he called him Thundercat. And I was screaming and telling him that he was gone. And he came out and he looked at him and he put a towel over him. And then I really lost it and I cursed God. I told him to kill me because growing up as a little girl in church, if you curse God, you die. So I wanted to die. So I cursed God and I just told him to kill me. I hated God. Why you take my child? Not knowing that that day I did die. Not physically, but spiritually. I did. So after that, the day we come home from the hospital when they said that he was dead, that was the day I picked up a pack of cigarettes and started smoking. That was the day when my sister gave me a drink and she called it a zombie. And from that day, I can't tell you who or what happened because I was not me anymore. The day of the funeral, when we got home, his father asked me for a divorce. He asked me for a divorce because he said he just wanted to be an independent father of a son. He didn't need me anymore. And that's when all hell broke loose. I began to hate. I hated me. I hated everyone that had did anything to me. I blamed everybody. I didn't know how to seek help. I just wanted my child. I didn't know what to do. I'd never been through this before. I was just hurting. I couldn't go to my husband and cry on his shoulder because he didn't want to be married to me no more. So I felt like my whole life just gone. 3 days after the funeral, I was sitting at home on my couch. I got a knock at the door, and there was a cousin. He come in, and that's when I was introduced to freebasing, which is cocaine. Back then, it was called freebasing, and then as the years went, it turned to crack. He came in, he went in the kitchen, he cooked it, he came back, we sat down, he told me to try it. And I was like, I don't do that. I'm in law enforcement. I don't do that. I get people that do that. And then I said, I don't want any drugs. I don't want that. I just want to know why you didn't come to the funeral. I just want to know why you treated me the way you treated me and why my son had to die. I was just all over the place. And then he fixed it up and he wasn't even listening to what I was saying. He goes, here, try it. And I was like, I just told you I don't want to do it. And he said, it's one word. It'll ease your pain. That one little word, it'll ease your pain, made me take a hit. I never looked back. From that day on, I lost my home. I lost my daughter. I lost my job. I lost my family. I lost me. I began to walk the streets looking for drugs. I was raped every day. Gang rape, beat up, thrown out of cars butt naked. They had nowhere to live. I slept on the streets till I found this box that was made like a refrigerator, and that became my home. So I slept in this box at night. Nobody was to touch my box, and nobody didn't touch my box either. Then when it was time to eat, I would go to the trash dumpster, which was in the back of a store. Back then we had a store called Gino's, Kentucky Fried Chicken, Holly Farms, stuff like that. And I would go and get the food out the barrel, which is called spoilage, which goes into the trash. I didn't think that it was bad because it was still had wrap on it, but I was literally eating out the trash. And then something hit me. I want y'all to know, when they say raise up a child and where she go, they will come back. Because I was eating out the trash and I heard something say, the prodigal son, he was eating out of the trash, the pig slop. And I wasn't thinking about no Bible. I wasn't thinking about God. I wasn't thinking about none of that. It just like came to me. And then I realized that, oh my gosh, I'm eating out the trash. So finally, I tried to get my life straight. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Alright, lovelies, if you reach this far in the video and you are loving what you're hearing or what you're seeing and would love part 2, then leave part 2 please in the comment section down below. Yes guys, in part 2 you're going to be seeing how I fried my nice juicy crispy grunfish the way you are seeing it on your screen right now. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. See you in part 2. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, leave your comments down below, and subscribe for more.